Chapter 5 Dr. Know-It-All's Plan. Dr. Know-It-All arose from his chair and picked a file that was lying on the top of the desk. He rounded the desk while opening the file and extending his hand out to Bond. Bond looked down at the hand and refused. "It is agreeable to meet you finally, Mr. Bond. I can understand your caution. Nevertheless, I know all about you. I've known about your previous missions, foes, loves, and losses. Quite an extensive career, I must say. It says here that you have been with the British Secret Service for nearly 50 years. If I may compliment you, Mr. Bond, it certainly doesn't show. Have traveled all over the world from the United States to China. Have gone up against various different forms of threats and enemies. Drug lords, crime bosses, smugglers, thieves, and world conquest. You've even gone up against renegade governments such as the Soviet Russia and North Korea. Then there is your private life. You have had many loves and flames over the years, around the world as well. However, there is one in particular from 1969, a Miss Tracy? It reads that you proposed to this sweet girl, however, not long after your wedding ceremony she was... Bond tried to hide it, but there was a fire burning in his eyes. He could feel his blood bubbling, and he was finding himself increasingly stressed. Tracy was someone he hadn't thought about in a very long time. She was indeed the wife of James Bond, who was tragically shot about a half hour she and Bond said "I do." The death was caused by a hit and run from a car being driven by James Bond's sworn enemy, Ernst Stavro Blofeld. Blofeld was known as the head of the organization called Spectre, which Bond had faced up against multiple times in multiple forms. "I'm afraid I'm going to have to stop you right there. It seems your hospitality is being reduced to a childish walk down memory lane. As you've said, I've gone up against many with many repeating ideas. Guilt-tripping me, or whatever this is, to make me relive my past in itself is nothing new." "Not at all, Mr. Bond. In fact, I am surprised you didn't stop me earlier. You yourself are not wondering why and how I know so much about you. In fact, I can promise you there are things I know that you don't even know yet." Bond then got a grip on himself and saw a rather comfortable-looking chair. He pointed to it, and Dr. Know-It-All waved his hand, offering Bond to sit down. Dr. Know-It-All sat back down at his desk. "Mr. Bond, studying has been my life. Training has also been my life. I have studied and trained to become a form of mortal omnipotent. I know that everything I say might be seen as some form of hocus-pocus or made-up jargon, but trust me, I know, and I know better." "Your plan, then?" "My plan? You make me out to be one of your many villains that are highlighted in this file. No. I am a visionary. You may believe that you were sent here to stop a madman from taking over the world, but really, you were sent here to make sure that this guy really is who he says to be. Just someone who knows a little bit more than even the smartest person in the world. I could tell you what you're thinking at your present moment and what you want to do while beating any person from Asia at a math tournament. And apparently being stereotypical and racist at the same time. Very impressive." Dr. Know-It-All got up from his desk and quickly walked over to Bond. "Listen! Have I not impressed you enough? Would you like to know what else this file shares? Let's see. Everything from your drink preference, vodka martini, shaken not stirred, I might add, your scare in the 1980s of possibly being too old to continue, and now the fact that you may never work alone again." Bond turned his neck rather sharply at Dr. Know-It-All. "What do you mean? I'm not Batman, for crying out loud. I don't work with sidekicks." Barbara then came back into the room where Bond and Dr. Know-It-All were talking. She was carrying a tray with Bond's drink of choice, a vodka martini, shaken not stirred. She presented the tray to him. "Really, James, I think you've worked with many people in the past. All those ladies must have joined for the bulk of your adventures. And what of your CIA friend? Hasn't he helped you time and time again?" Barbara then walked over to one of Dr. Know-It-All's monitors and pressed a button. After a few seconds of glitches and flashes, the monitor showed an image of Felix wandering in a crowd. It was as if a camera was following him. That's when Bond arose from his seat and flipped the tray out of Barbara's hand and grabbed his weapon that was conveniently on a side table near Dr. Know-It-All's desk. Bond had dug the weapon into Barbara's side.